Hi guys, it's time for us to get a little studying in. I hope you're not asleep. I can't sleep, sometimes I wake up. I'm going to make me a little coffee right quick. Hold on. And then we're going to get started. Let's see if I can find something to cook it in. 1 second. Got to do our Bible reading, right? Dishes is clean in here. We're going to have a Bible study. Let me get my Bible out. I think we're in Genesis, right? Let's see. We're going to be doing Genesis and it's another book here called, I haven't finished, this is Take the Limits Off of God. So let me doing a study. Let me make me a cup of coffee first. Yes, I need to wash dishes at some point. Oh, let's see. Coffee. Cups are in the refrigerator. Milk with the top on it. Just a second, guys. Okay. Where's my other cup at? Interesting. Let's pour this milk out. It has on top. So guys, I got me some heavy whipping creamer now. See that? Heavy whipping creamer. Because I'm not supposed to have sugar. That sorbet gained me 15 pounds. Keep putting that sorbet. That sorbet was not a sweet sweetener. It's a keto sweetener, but it still make you gain weight. So get you a heavy whipping cream, no sugar. Sugar is 0 for you, for us. No sugar. Because any kind of sugar, even a keto sugar, will make you gain weight. Because I did. I gained some weight. I had to go to the... Listen, let me tell you what happened today. I went to the urgent care, right? Because my back was hurting me. My back been hurting me like... It's been hurting me about 2 months now. In one spot back here on the lower backside. So I said, well, it could be my kidneys. You know, I kept looking it up and trying to see what was wrong. So the doctor said, what kind of mattress you got? I said, mattress? And even my daughter, when I called her, she said, Ma, it's probably your mattress. She said, ain't nothing wrong with your back. I said, my back been hurting me on and off for a long time. You know, but when you have to bend over, pick up something, or you have to lift something up and it might be a little bit heavy. You have to use proper body mechanics. A lot of people don't know this. If you're working or something and you drop some and you just want to get down there and get it quick, you can't do that. You got to think about how am I going to pick this up without injuring myself? Because especially if you're getting a little Asian 30 and up, how am I going to get something up without injuring myself off the floor? You're supposed to kind of squat and go down and get it. You're supposed to practice perfect body mechanics so that your whole top to bottom is aligned and your feet are square when you're going to do something. You got to square your feet. You can't just be going sideways, this way, that way, lifting up stuff, doing all kind of movements and not thinking about how you are adjusting your midpoint and your legs and your shoulders to do these movements. See, now I'm kind of achy now. And the doctor said, does it hurt you just in your back or all the way down your legs? I said, now it's hurting down my legs, you know. So he said, flip my mattress. I said, one side of my mattress has a sinkhole in it because I sleep in that spot. You know, I done got used to sleeping in that spot right there. But the other side is perfectly fine. He said, flip your mattress. He said, flip your mattress. He said, whenever your mattress is uneven across and it's not even all the way across, you have to flip it. He said, you need a good mattress. So my daughter said the same thing. She said, mine's your mattress. She said, my mattress been doing this. She said, I only sleep 3 or 4 hours a night because my mattress no good. I said, well, we both need a mattress. But I had no idea that poor body mechanics, a bad mattress, and if you got poor shoes, another thing, he said, make sure you got good supportive shoes with an arch support, a good heel. And you know, I'll wear a quick, cheap, flat shoe in a minute. He said, you got to pay for your shoe. You got to get a good shoe, a good mattress, and you got to practice proper body mechanics. And then the doctor told me to stay hydrated. He said, how much water are you drinking? I said, I thought you said one of my kidneys. He said, no, it's not your kidneys. He said, but if your muscles is aching, you must be dehydrated. You probably need more water. But see, let me tell you something about the muscles. Our muscles start getting cramped up and stuff because it's not enough hydration. It's not enough cellular circulation going on. You got to keep that liquid flowing. So, you know, I haven't been drinking that big old thing of water for a couple of, you know, how about that big thing of water from the Dollar Tree. I lost the top to it, so I threw it away or whatever. So every now and then, I'll go to my water thing. I got a water thing here I order from Ice Mountain because I want to keep water in the house. And I fill this up and drink this three times. I fill it up and drink three straight of these. This is about 8 ounces. And I just drink it up. But I'm supposed to drink more than 3 a day. I should have 6 or 7 or 8 of these a day. I should go back and forth to get the water. But sometimes I forget and I start drinking coffee instead of water. Or I'll drink tea, you know, like that. I drink a lot of tea and a lot of coffee. So he said, make sure you're drinking more water than anything. And I had been drinking the coffees with the Swerve. So I gained weight. I said, I gained weight. The doctor, I gained 17 pounds from drinking that Swerve and then having my hand sneaking over in a cookie jar on the side. You know, just because you think you're fasting or you're doing a little exercise, it's not going to help you if you're still sneaking your hand in the cookie jar, you know, or sneaking on the side with a little sugar and a little creamer. Leave that stuff alone because all they're doing is gaining pounds. It's just gaining pounds. And I saw it when I got the nurse said, get on the scale. I was scared. Get on the scale. But I said, I need to see my way. The scale keep us accountable. So I'm getting ready to order me a weight loss scale and a kitchen scale to weigh the food that I'm cooking. Weigh the meats. We don't have never coleslaw and pickle. I got to put pickle on my list. Weigh the meats because that's all we eat. So what we've been doing is eating a lot of meat, a lot of butters, and a lot of cheeses because they say eat how much you want, you know. And we've been so happy to be able to eat and not be hungry. I think we've been kind of overeating. So I'm getting a meat. I'm getting a kitchen scale to weigh the food, the meats or whatever, and then I'm getting a weight loss scale to weigh the weight You have to keep yourself accountable whenever you're doing this. Get you a weight loss scale. Keep it in a washroom or keep it in the bedroom. So once a week, you look at that because it keep you accountable to what you're doing. Because you could go by week after week after week, still sneaking in the cookie jar, still nabbing on some little keto snack or whatever. Even keto snacks have sugars in them. They may be the lowest amount of sugar, but me, I'm trying to go down to 0 sugar on my diet. I'm weaning him off because he's very overweight. So I'm weaning him off of all sugar. But I've been sneaking to the corner store to get toilet paper and get this and get that. Then I'm going to grab, they got those little candy bars laying all around and all these little snacks. But the best way to do that is find a way to order your toiletries and things so you don't have to go into the store looking at all of that, especially if you can't control yourself like me. Can't control yourself, stay out the stores until you get some self-control. Order it, let them bring it to the door. I'm running there like, blinders on, I'm going straight to the spot. I'm gonna put my blinders on for everything. I'm going straight to where I gotta go to get what I had to get, come right out. Or just don't go. Just order it somewhere. Let somebody else bring it to the door. Like, bring me my toilet paper. I can't afford to go in the store because I may be sneaking on some cookies or something. Bring it to the door to me. So, get you guys a weight scale because we're going to be held accountable now. We're going to be doing fasting and all of that. You got to be accountable to what you're doing. And get your food scale so you can weigh your meats. You can weigh your meats in grams or in pounds. You can weigh it in grams or in pounds. Now, if you want to weigh 150, I'm going to give you how many grams of meat you can eat. Now, as far as you eating something else on the side, keep it kosher and it won't count. Pickle coleslaw, that's what we're doing. Pickle coleslaw. Now, if you want to eat kimchi, that's cool. That's kosher vegetables. If you want to eat greens, any kind of greens, that's okay. That's just water. It's going to come right out. But them carbs and them grains, we're not supposed to be doing. Like I have been making that grain, trying to get an almond flour or a coconut flour, trying to make, we had some pancakes around here twice because we had that flour, that almond flour, and I like to bake. So I made some stovetop pancakes. I know how to mix it up and make it into a pancake, with whatever it needs. So we had pancakes twice. Then we had to put, and Shemai, we had to put the syrup on there. That's syrup, that's sweet, So what I'm saying, don't even play around with sneaking around because you're going to gain weight. I done gained 15 extra pounds from sneaking on the side and buying little things on my grocery list that I shouldn't be buying. And don't bring it in the house if you know you shouldn't have it. Another thing that's fattening, cheese. I love cheese. I'll open the refrigerator and cut me off some couple of pieces of cheeses and just be snacking. Because I like cheese. Now, butter is okay. It's not going to harm you because you need some kind of fat. But to just constantly be eating the cheese is very fattening. But it's good, though. I'll open this refrigerator. If I got some little block of cheese, or something like this little cheese here I bought at the store, this Tillamook, I cut me a piece of this off and eat me a couple of chunks of this. Just like chocolate to me, I love cheese. I eat all cheeses. So for me, don't bring your cheese in unless I really want to put it on something. Because I know I like it, so just don't bring it in. And I used to eat a cheese and a cracker together, but now I know I can't have the cracker. But guess what? I really can't have the cheese either, not that often. But I put this butter in my coffee because I can't have the sugar. Well, it makes me think I got some in it. But the whipped creamer is no sugar, and the butter is no sugar. See, I get these big things of water like this, and I make sure I order. I'm gonna start ordering double because keep you some water in your house. If they're ever becoming, remember the last time they had an emergency when you went to the store, there was no water. That's why I got this container. If there ever become an emergency, ain't nobody gonna be able to find no water. Guess what else they ain't gonna be able to find? Toilet paper. when they first said COVID, remember? Something may come again when there's a major emergency. Stock your house up with your toiletries. Make sure you got your soaps, your toilet paper, especially when they on sale. Get extra. I be trying to fill my closet up. My mom used to do that. I said, Mom, you got 100 rolls of toilet paper. We'll do toilet paper. But we just go to her house and get the toilet paper. We was like, oh, we know we can get the toilet paper over here. But listen, don't let the little necessities of life catch you off guard. If you got a little extra money, get the little necessities. Now, water is something you always gonna need. Toilet paper is something you basically gonna need, unless for some reason we become, like in the wilderness or something, and I'll still be like, oh, let's take toilet paper to the wilderness, else we can't use it. But you know what I'm saying? Just get your little necessities that you need. Water, you need. Toilet paper, you need. Soap, if you're gonna wash, you gotta have soap. You can't wash without soap. Soap wash off germs. Keep you some bar soap. You know what I'm saying? Bar soap is cheaper than that soap that may be full of chemicals or whatever they putting in there to stretch it. It's hard to find a good soap just because it's got a good name. It's still gonna have something. Get you a bar soap. I'm like the old people. Get you a good bar soap. Get you some Irish Spring. Get you some Dial, Ivory Coast. Get you some bar soap. Bar soap clean you better than it. Keep you some baking soda, Epsom salt, and vinegar in your house. Those are soaks for the bathtub. Baking soda, Epsom salt, vinegar. Those are good for first aid, things that happen to you. Oh yeah, alcohol, peroxide, hazel, and witch hazel. Keep all these little necessity things. Things like if you cut your finger, a Band-Aid, stuff to wrap yourself with, gauze. Keep all those things. Tapes, little scissors, little things like that. You never know what you might need some for. Okay. So I done had the first aid kit scenario. Like I cut my finger at work and I come home, I don't even have a Band-Aid to put on it. So when I went to work, I meant to take me some Band-Aids from work. But we should have these things in our home. Like, okay, I know I can go home and put another Band-Aid on. We ain't got a Band-Aid. Can't even find one. Oh, the dollar store. I heard that over 1,000 Dollar Trees going out of business, guys. So you guys need to be stopping in there. Stuff is going to be marked down. So you can get you something for 40, 50% off if they're going out of business, depending on where you live. I don't know what areas it is. Okay, let's get back to the Bible business. Let's see here. Before I get back with the story of Abraham, there's another book, guys, that I wanted to read to you, and it's called Take the Limits Off of God. I'm going to read you a little bit of that, and then I'm going to come on here with a different video, and we're going to read the Bible, do a Bible study. I bought this little here thing at the dollar store that sits your phone on, but it seemed like it wants to lay the phone down instead of it sitting up like this. Let's see if there's another way. Oh, okay. Maybe it was the way I had it. Flip it on the other side then. Okay, so this one says, take the limits off of God. We didn't finish reading Kingdom Bridges. He's got a couple more chapters in there I need to wrap up too. But this one is by, who's this by? www.reformministry.com, Reform Ministry Publications. This is Diane Ehrlich. She's the founder of Reform Ministry. help you discover ways that you may be limiting God's movement in your life. She shares convincing spiritual evidence that reform and repentance in the church are the keys to spiritual revival and change in our society. Okay, so her first chapter, did I read the first one to you? Okay, she's got allowing God to change us. I'm going to go back, do some quick reads with you here. It says, read Genesis 32, 33, 1 through 11. This is interesting because this is what we're going to be reading about basically. It says, so often we cry out to God in prayer, asking Him to please change our relatives and friends. We should certainly pray for them, but more importantly, we should also be asking God to change us. God is tremendously glorified when people adopt to Christ. His ability to change someone into a noticeably different person is undeniable evidence that He exists and has significant power. As we allow God to change us, then in an unexplainable way, Christ is released to work in the lives of friends and family members as well. And that's so true. Sometimes when God begins to change your life, your friends and family start changing too, because they see the evidence in you of what's going on, or they even talk to you about their issues or whatever, and you can help them as well. So this principle of change is seen in the lives of Jacob and Esau. Now we're going to be talking about that, right? Rebecca had two sons by Isaac, Jacob and Esau. And I believe Jacob stole Esau's birthright to be the first son. We're going to be talking about that. That's going to be coming up right here in a minute. I still miss the sugar, but it's okay. Okay, so Jacob used deceit against his brother to gain his father's blessing. As a result, Esau plotted to kill his brother for stealing his blessing. And Jacob had to flee from home. For 14 years, Jacob labored for his uncle Laban. God prospered him with wives, children, and livestock, which was the upstart of the nation of Israel. So this is telling you, but we're going to read this, okay? But before this prophetic nation could be released to greatness, Jacob had to first go home to face his brother. Still fearing for his life, Jacob turned to God in prayer, asking Him to save him from his brother's anger. God responded to the plea to change Esau's heart by dealing with Jacob's heart first. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him to daybreak. Genesis 32 and 24. I think I told you how this came out. This wrestling match represented a season of change that God initiates to make us spiritual people. He has great plans for us, but we must be changed from our selfish, worldly, unspiritual ways that hinder Him. The Holy Spirit comes in close, convincing us of sin and using discipline to do a work of holiness. During this season of change, God may seem to be more like our worst enemy, but we must love Him for His discipline, knowing that He will surely bless the spiritual life that He is bringing forth. God can only bless the Christ life within us when our minds are set on the things of the Spirit. As seen in Jacob, self-nature is competitive, deceitful, and a hindrance to God's purposes. In contrast, the spiritual life brings God's desire for ourselves and for others. Jacob's self-reliance had to be challenged and exchanged for a reliance on God's mercy. The wrestling match left Jacob exhausted and physically crippled, but he won his blessing from God. Now a different man, Israel, headed out with the assurance that God would solve his differences with his brother. Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. Had murderer deepened in Esau so much that he would come against him with such an army? No, because God had time to work in his heart also. The once rash, ravenous Esau, who allowed his appetite and emotions to rule him, was now content with the portion of blessing that he had. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. Verse 9. By the power of God, Esau was a changed man too. Esau saw Jacob and ran to embrace him as the brothers wept in reconciliation. Jesus told us that he expected change from those who come into his kingdom. And he said, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 18:3. God will take us in as we are, but he does not plan to leave us that way. The reason we allow God to change us is because we want to please him. So we make it our goal to please him, whether we are at home, in the body, or away from it. 2 Corinthians 5:10. Out of love for Christ, we find out what he likes and we change accordingly. Ephesians 5:10. We no longer live our life to please ourselves, but we want to please God instead. And you know, God is about holiness. He said, for I am holy, so be ye also holy. Then we need to know what that is, right? So I'll look that up later. It said Christians halt God's changes when they choose to continue pleasing themselves. They may begin to do some basic like church going and prayer in an attempt to make some changes in their lives. But after a certain point, they may stop and go no further, deciding that no further change is necessary. But for the Christian, change is growth. Spiritual growth is not just about learning. It is how we apply that learning to our living so that we live differently. We must see that God had to change Jacob into Israel. His name changed, his ideas of living and what he did in his life changed. He had to go through some scuffle and toil for that change of his living to take place. You know, being indebted to working off and doing all these things. And then once he changed and was indebted to someone of service, and you know, he became Israel over the nation. So he didn't just rename the same person. God didn't say, well, I'm going to take Jacob and keep him Jacob. He renamed somebody else because his whole being of himself was changed through what he was doing. And that's what she says here. God had in mind to produce a nation from that person, a nation of people. God is able to change selfish sinners into selfless, serving saints, revealing the new creatures that we actually are in Christ. We must be open and willing to accept the changes that God wants to bring so that we will be noticeably different people to our family and friends. Take the limits off of God. She has some questions here. Have you sincerely asked God to make the changes he wants for your life? Will you stop trying to change others and allow God to do the work in you instead? How often do you pray for family members? Are you first willing to see how you need to change? The next chapter will be godly love, and it says read 1 Corinthians 13, 1 through 3. So she's got a good right there on this book. Now, we're going to be reading the next chapter about Abraham's son Isaac and what happened there. So let's get on that. We read chapter 12 before, 30 minutes. I'm going to come back and read to you this, okay?